Hi and welcome back to another video. What we're going to be doing today is replacing the power supply in this Sega Saturn console. Unfortunately it's my own fault. I had two of these consoles. One had actually a UK power supply and one was the standard Japanese one. And I'd plugged the 240 volt cable into the wrong one and blew it. And this is the one I blew, so we're going to repair that today. What we're going to replace it with is this 12 volt Saturn PSU. You can use a standard 12 volt power supply with it, rather than just replacing it like for like, because I don't want to put another 110 volt one in it. These are relatively inexpensive. I think they're around about the £30 mark. Don't look too difficult to fit either. So with that we've got instructions. What I'll do is I'll put a link down below for the power supply that I've bought. The instructions look quite simple and well planned out, so that's always good to see. So what we'll do first of all is we'll open the console up. There's no security screws or anything in this, it's just like a normal Phillips screwdriver we need. So now with all the screws out the bottom of it, we should just be able to lift the lid off it, like so. Just be careful, I think it's attached by a cable. As you can see, there are several cables. And that's a mod chip actually fitted a good few years ago on this console. Can't remember the name of it now, a Phantom or something maybe. Just allows you to play CDRs on it. As far as we can see, the power supply is on this side. On this side here, so what we'll do is we'll just completely remove that. It looks like there's just a single screw holding it in and this little connector, which is really easy just to pull out. When you're removing an old power supply, always treat them as live, because they've got capacitors which may still hold charge on them, so always try to avoid touching them if you can. And this little clip here seems to hold it on as well. We have two screws in the rear here which we'll take off, take out. So with the two screws out here, we should just be able to lift the old PSU out. There we are. There's another connector here. We'll just pull that off. And there's a little cable tie there which will snip. There was also a little bit of glue there holding one of the cables down, just be mindful of that as well. So we'll just snip this off. There we are. That's the PSU removed. As you can see there, the fuse is blown. That would have been me when I plugged the 240 volts into it. It may have done other damage to it as well. Hopefully the fuse has caught it though, and it can be repaired, but I'm not going to do that. There's a little selector switch here, and depending on the model you've got the selection of 3.3 volts or 5 volts. This particular console is a 5 volt console. I think Mark II consoles are probably going to be 3.3. So we'll connect other cables back onto this before we go ahead any further. So also got this little cable in the package here to fit. That just clips in like so. I'm going to need to solder this little, find out this cable goes, it's come off. That's for the mod chip, but that doesn't really matter at the moment, as we'll still get it to work anyhow. But we'll just put that aside just now. I'll have to look up the wiring diagram for that and just find out where that goes and resolder it back on again. As of right now, I've no idea where it goes. So what we want to do now is fit the little 3D printed bit we got with the bundle. So what we'll do is we'll attach the connector first onto the bit of plastic. And there's just a nut it comes with. All we need to do is hand tighten it onto this, like so. With the PSU you get a couple of screws with nuts on them. I found it better and easier just to use the existing screws that came out the old PSU. It's fitted in very nicely and it's solid, so I just went ahead and used them. So what I'm going to do now is just test it works okay. So this is just a 12 volt adapter I had lying around. So let's go ahead and test it, moment of truth, to see if it works. Nice. Not sure if it shows up on camera, but we have power light and access light on. Brilliant. So it's powering up. So we went from a completely dead Saturn that I'd blown to one that's now working, which is great. It's really handy mod to have if you've got an import console and you don't want to do what I've done and plug the wrong voltage into it and just blow it. So nice to have a 12 volt PSU there. Hopefully this video has helped some of you out. After I finish the video, I'll tidy up the PSU, I'll put some insulating tape over it and put the console back together properly. What I'll also do is I'll sort that loose wire that was lying about from the mod chip that was in it. I'll need to look up the wiring diagram just to see where that goes and put it all back together, and then I'll have a fully working console again. So So thanks again for watching. I'll hopefully see you guys again soon for another video. Cheers, bye.